Hey, welcome back. Welcome back to Automotive Electronics. We are working on a 05, 04 or 05, same cluster. Dodge Ram truck today. Has no tack and no display on the, only on the left-hand side. Prindle's showing up, but the odometer's not. So, already had it apart, but I thought, hell, I got a new microphone. So, a new microphone? Got to try it out. Alright, so this is how you get these bad boys apart. I've already taken this apart, so we save a little time here. I'll just show you what I did. It has about 1,000 screws on the back, all these little silver suckers here. They're all over the place here. And it's also got this little box on the back. This is your door lock module. You don't want to lose it. It comes off just by prying up on it. There's a couple little tabs that lock it in and 6 pins that it seats into. You can basically just pry it out of there. But just, I mean, not with a crowbar, but, you know, you manipulate, easy for me to say, easy for you to say maybe. You manipulate it out of there. And it comes out pretty easy. It's not too bad. After you get all your screws off and everything, this will come right off. Alright, the other thing is getting, and you also, it'll come apart. The needles will be on it, they're off right now. But you're going to want to take those needles off. So there's some stuff on the front side of the board that we're going to get to. So the way this needles comes off is you get yourself a fork tool, get up underneath them. I'll put one on for you so you can see how it's done. Alright, so needles come off just by sliding a fork tool underneath it and gently wiggling it in there and getting it up, and it comes off. Okay. Then you'll be able to get this off. Now what I found, helps to have a bench power supply. What I found with these, let's see if we can power it up. It may still be working again. Yep, it's still working again. How I diagnosed this was simply by coming in here and pressing on different components. And as soon as I got down here to these resistors along the bottom and pressed on them, this lit back up. Therefore, I know we need to resolder this area here. While the sucker's apart, I'm going to go ahead and resolder a lot, because as soon as you don't, these resistors will turn loose, you know, and then you'll give it back to your customer and you'll have an issue. We go through it all so that we don't have any comebacks. With the tack is notorious on all these Dodges. In this particular one, these two MOSFETs turn loose a lot, and this little chip right here on the back, a little, I don't know if it's a processor or if it's like a driver chip. Anyway, it'll start to turn loose, and you'll want to reflow those. You'll reflow these resistors. On the 06, it has a driver chip that looks a lot like this one here, and it's located up here. That's your tack on the 06. All right. But this 05, 04, let me go look and I'll let you know real quick what it is specifically. It is a 2004 that we're working on today. Alright, when we get done, I'm going to show you how to get the needles back on so that your gauges are accurate and etc. Right now we got some work to do. Alright, so we're going to start off with the main culprits here today. Get you pointed down so you can see what's going on here. Alright. Get my iron fired up. Go ahead and fire both of them up just in case here. If if you don't have a soldering iron that looks like this, you've got one with the pistol grip, this is not the job for you, or not the job for that iron. So you'll want to get yourself something that's a little more in tune with working on electronics than working on plumbing. Clean my iron tip up here. These always benefit from a little bit of flux. So apply a little flux on there. It's like magic juice. I'll go over those. These big black ones, they take a little longer to heat up. So just extend your dwell time a little bit on them. And then just add a little bit of solder and you should be good to go. Alright, we're going to hit these resistors while I got this side open. These flat ones, they don't usually require additional flux. As long as you're fairly familiar with soldering, you should be able to handle that just straight up. I got a bunch in a row like this. I usually do go down one side and then go down the other. That way you don't have residual heat in there, and you work on one side and you immediately switch to the other. That side could stay molten for a minute, and then when you hit this side it just turns loose and you have to chase it. So I don't like chasing them. Alright, let's see if there's any other big culprits. We got another one over here, might as well hit it. This is the other bigger one, so we'll use a little flux down here. You see how much longer you have to spend on these. It's a matter of getting to the right temperature. Getting the temperature of your component in your pad up to a level that'll accept the solder. Alright, I've also already marked the... So you see we have similar arrays here on the left and on the right. That's still hot. And I'm sure this was the only one that was out, so I'm sure they're going to do the same thing on the right hand side, and then you'll lose your display on the right hand side as well. Alright, let's get to the back side. Back side, like I said, bigger components. Flux is your friend. So these two MOSFETs, give them a little juice. Also helps sometimes when you've got bigger components, increase the size of your tip by using it. So this one is my favorite. A little curved tip, gets in the little fine spaces, etc. This one is a little more meat on the bone on this one. So the thermal, technically more thermal mass, more heat translation into your target. get the legs on this as well as the ground plane on the back here. If you are on it and you're not seeing the solder flow in and flow where it needs to be, then just stay on it for a little while and you get it. Whoa. Got a little too happy on that one. Okay, we got this one nice and hot. You see it move? And we got it a little too hot, and we got a little too much solder going on here. Don't need to put more on there. I'll just suck a little of that off here. That stuff is called solder wick, and it works excellent for getting solder off of the places that you don't want it. Alright, all we got left at this point that we we're primarily concerned with on this particular year model is this and some of these other. Let's go ahead and hit these other resistors. Anytime I'm in any instrument cluster and these big fat resistors are in there, I go ahead and reflow them because they're just notorious for turning loose. I've never had the 04 come in here with the specific. This one got a little crooked on me because I heated one side and went to the other side too fast. Okay, back on there. The other thing, anytime you get a through hole, you see how these legs are coming all the way through the board. Those are good to go ahead and touch up. Doesn't take long. You get used to soldering, it doesn't take long to do all this stuff. Other things that are notorious on the boards that could be causing problems are these header pins. As you know, they're the back side of these plugs where they come through the board. They can certainly have cracks, and you want to make sure that they don't. Yeah, that was just that MOSFET. Okay. Anyway, I'll take a little look, see if I can see anything else we need to do, and I'll get back with you. Alright, we're going to get this thing put back together. I think we're good to go. Oh, with the exception. Alright, here's another thing that we do with these. Alright, so the other thing we like to test is all the bulbs. So you can light the bulbs up on these with just positive on one side, negative on the other. It doesn't matter which, they work both directions. As long as you don't have power going to the board through a plug like I have here, you can just apply power on each side of these, and you can readily see where the bulbs are at. So if you can plug this into your truck like this, be a solution at home. And once you have it plugged in, you can see exactly what lights are out. I've got a literal butt ton of those lights somewhere. Not these. Let's see. Probably the one that is marked Ford bulbs. Not exactly Ford bulbs, but they work for more than just Ford. This style of bulb is a T5 bulb. Just 12 volt straight up light bulbs. In T5 format. Nope, that's not T5 format. Little difference. If you can see the difference there. I thought they were the same as the Fords, but they are not. So we're going to have to go find some bulbs. Alright, went and found us 4 new bulbs. These twist in from the back side of the cluster. Just line them up and twist them in. The contacts are on the front side, so these are a little funky. You don't get a very good thumb hole hold on them, so they're easier to put in with a little screwdriver. Where are my other holes at? Oh, I haven't taken the other bolts out yet. Alright, so that gets all our bulbs installed. Double check them all. Sure we got, nope, we got one. This happens sometimes. Before, these 2 bulbs were good. Now they're not, so while you're manipulating the board, sometimes you can lose a couple of light bulbs. Or they were just kind of half-ass working and now they're not. So it's always good just to double check. You can replace these with LEDs. Now, if I remember correctly, yeah, these it's got a color like a light blue color on the back of these, inside of this faceplate. So changing the color of the LEDs is probably going to result in some really funky looking stuff. And you can get the faceplate off and get all dramatic and get your lacquer thinner out and try to remove all that so that you get the color to shine through. You can do all that if you're so inclined. Well, now I ran out of bulbs again. I gotta go find more. So how many bad bulbs I had. Okay, finally found. Now we have a full complement of bulbs. Let's verify our function before we start putting things back together. We've got 2 displays. Should be good there. I may build my cluster plug up a little better than what I have, because currently does not turn on the background lights, and that would be a lot easier if it did. So I do a little upgrading of the old power supply, or not the power supply, but the plug. Alright, put me one in there for stabilize everything. These little stops for the gauges, they break very easily. Do not break them. Very cautious with those. Alright, the way to set these is you want your needle kind of on the bottom side of these pegs. Find your spindle, press it on, lift your needle up and over, and you should be good. That goes for all of these. Same method. Needle on the bottom side of the peg, press on, just move it right over the top of the peg. This is with the power on that I'm doing this, so you have to be able to power it up. So at home, you would put this in your truck without the needles on, have the needles on, use the same procedure. Can't find the hole. Alrighty, there we go. Now we can verify this by turning the power off. Crank the needles up a little bit. Turn them back on. They should all reset to their home position. Verified. Done. One old Dodge saved. Want to get all your screws back in. All 47 of them. If you're doing these by hand, I feel for you, because that job sucks worse than the rest of it. All right. Got screws over here as well. Forgot about those. And don't forget about your door lock module if you want your door locks to work. And these little stupid clips are, there we go, it's in there. Done. If you're working for a customer, like I am, oh hell. Now see, they're done screwed up. So I got to get this back apart because I forgot a plunger. I'm not going to put y'all through that though. All had to come apart because I forgot that little step. That was it. Just like that, we're right back where we were when I pressed pause with the plunger in place. All functions are checked. Everything looks good. So now on the later models, I'm pretty sure you can't do it on this one, but you can hold down your plunger, apply power, and it'll display test over here and sweep your needles for you and etc. That is not the case on these. At least I don't think so. I'm going to give it a fair chance, but yeah, it's not the case. Got a little bonus content for you. This is the HVAC control module out of the same truck, and it is said to have lighting issues. So let's see if we can't get this sucker open and check the lighting. Looks like these knobs are going to just have to pull off. Got a couple clips here. Hold a little tension there, let it pinch my finger. It's not wanting to come apart. Oh, hey. Well, dummy. Guess what I found? A little screw down here.
Hey, did you find that other cluster?
Yeah. Yeah. Okay, I had a customer come in, had to deliver a car, so I can't even remember where I was at with this, if I hit pause before and then I kept taking it apart or not, but nonetheless, there's a couple screws in the back that also have to come out, and probably need to take it apart face down because these little things will fall out. And here are the bulbs that are supposedly bad.
Hey, can my wife use the restroom real quick?
Yeah, absolutely.
I'm just gonna let her come in.
Yep.
Where's that?
Okay. So we're going to test our bulbs much the same way. Well, we got to turn the power on first. That one's dead. That one's good. And that one's dead. So we only got one good one. And it's all silver coated, so I bet you it's not very damn good. And I'm quite sure that we're not going to have any of these extra laying around. Boy, these suckers have gotten hot. Hear them crackly. Let's go see what we can do to replace these. These do not look like they're very easy to replace. At least in Save the Housing. But there are ways. When there is a will, there is a way. So let me find some of these other bulbs. We'll just solder some bulbs straight on there. That will allow for more air circulation and maybe even work out better. I'll try to get them seated just right so that they aren't sticking up too high. Just solder onto the contacts for where the old sockets contacted. And one more. That should get us done. Do we do a little trimming? Well, there we go. Moved away from anything where it'll short. Give these a little test. And boom, there's light. All right. Okay, now that all the crises are averted, at least for now, we can trim these off. It leaves us with a setup looks a little bit like that. I'm going to recess those bulbs just a little bit so that we don't have any clearance issues. Sit this back down on here. Here's the nice thing about soldering on like that. You can just press the bulb down a little bit and you've got a little play that you can get those bulbs down where you need them. Alright, and this inserts like this. And I have not made a power plug for this because probably this is the first one I've ever fixed. So you just have to take my word for it. That's going to work just fine. You see the clusters worked. It's been powered up the whole time while we've been jacking with that. And shouldn't be an issue for this guy anymore. Oh yeah, we got 2 screws left here. One was here. And one was here. All right. So that's that. We've got a good working cluster, good lighting in the cluster. We verified all that. We've replaced the lighting and the climate control, and gentlemen should be happy. And I'm going to get to go home and eat some supper because I'm tired. But hey, it'll all be worth it if you like and subscribe. So hook me up with that, and we're all good. You don't owe me a dime. See you later. Turns out, not so done. So those bulbs that I was using, standard little 4mm bulbs, right here, look like that. They're 4mm, standard 12-watt bulb. And I hope you could see good enough to see what I was talking about with when you pull them out. Technique number 2, even easier. So you want to make your bulb look like that with 2 little strands coming out, like rabbit ears. Grab a hold of it there, line up your rabbit ears with your connections, just push in and trim. Tested, and they work great. Pretty easy.